I'm here with Margate manager Ben Greenhalgh after the 6-2 home win here against Beckenham Town. Ben, it's been a while since we last spoke to you, 2 games since then, and obviously we confirmed our place in the playoff spot. Just what were the thoughts on those 2 away draws?
Yeah, I think the 7-0 should have been a win. Obviously, we had a moment during the game, and the FA have since apologised about the decision, which probably would have given us the 3 points. But we then went to Mersham, who were a team on the up, and it looks like they're going to be in the playoffs. I think that might have secured it today for them, obviously, if they're going to get a result tomorrow. But I think when you look at it against them, we went 2-0 down in the first 10 minutes, and it was a bit sloppy of us, and they were good goals scored by them. But at the same time, I think we should have dealt with them better. But it was a brilliant reaction to get the game back and go and dominate the game from there, which is a credit to everyone and sort of what we've built here as a football team and a squad, and that we sort of have that never die attitude, and actually probably should have won the game in the end. And I think the 2 results were still good. We were still in the performance. I think we were more dominating, which is the main thing. We spoke at the start of the year when we had those few draws that as long as the performances are dominating and good, then we'll get ourselves into a position that we are in right now. And I think that's 81 points, which is a brilliant standard to hit, and it's a brilliant with 2 games to go still. So confirming the playoffs was key for us, and that gave us a bit more of a relaxed training session on Tuesday. But at the same time, we demanded more, and the way that we started today's game proves that we're still in it for the rest of the games.
Yeah, moving on to today's game, it's a 6-2 home win. Basically a near perfect game, wasn't it? What were your thoughts on the whole game as a whole?
Yeah, I think you've got to look at it from Beckenham's point of view. If they'd have won today, they would have put a lot of pressure on Mersham, and they're still looking at nicking that 5th spot. So it wasn't going to be a walkover, but we just dealt with them really well. We pressed them really high. We had so much energy. We picked up a lot of second balls, and we showed a lot of quality. Like Max's first finish was a brilliant finish. And I think probably going under the radar a little bit is Tom Derry, because what we brought him in for is exactly what he's doing. I don't think Des is always going to be the type of player that goes and gets you 30, 40 goals. He's the sort of striker that links others and gets other people goals, and that's exactly what he's done today. So I think that was brilliant to go in at 4-0 up. I think it's the first time we've done that. We said we wanted more, but you've got to accept that in games like this, especially where they're desperate to go and get 3 points, that doesn't matter what the scoreline is to them. In terms of if they're getting 0 points, they're going to throw bodies at, and they pushed a lot of people high. And the one thing that was slightly disappointing, we let it become a bit of a basketball game, but I think we sort of smelt the blood as well, and we wanted to go and get more. And we did get more, but we also let in the 2 goals. So I think as a group, we're disappointed that we let in a goal, but still, performance-wise, was dominating throughout, and we've sort of seen off a team that was hoping to kick on.
Yeah, just on that first half, so hat-trick from Max Walsh, and obviously you getting in the action as well. 4-0 in 29 minutes, so it was pretty much the most clinical I think I've ever seen Margate in my history of being here as media. So did you feel that as well, playing out there?
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of games where we've played in the same way, and we've had a lot of first halves. I think if you look back at the Ramsgate game on Boxing Day, we had one-on-ones, we had the offside call, which was blatantly onside, where Ben Allen's got the easiest goal ever. We had so many attacks and opportunities and chances, but today the bottom line was we were scoring them. Max obviously gives us that quality, and Max has got a brilliant goal return. So I think that's one thing that's very positive with us. We've got so many players and so many different teams and different ways that we play, and we sort of adapt really well, that when players are in and out, they come in and perform. I think the biggest one to mention, obviously Max has been out the last couple of games, has come scored a hat-trick, but the biggest one for me to mention is Louis Atkins' last game he started, he scored. That was Eastbourne away, and he's probably not had his fair share of things, but at the same time that's the way we're playing, and we're still dominating games and performing really well. And again, he's come on today and scored again. So I think we've really got a good vibe amongst the change room and amongst the team. And I think we accept that some games are different. We have different setups, and that's the game plan we go with. And we just got to make sure that all 11 players are putting the right performance in, and we did that today.
Is there an air of frustration that we did not keep a clean sheet today?
I think there is for defenders and us as a group, because it comes to the end of the season, we're very much big on stats in terms of how many goals we scored, how many goals we let in. So we do look at it and go, we've got 17 clean sheets this year, and that would have been 18. We could have been pushing for 20. So there is that level of things. So there is that frustration, but I think you've got to accept and go, it was a basketball game because Beckenham threw everyone at it, and they were really expansive and really open because they've got nothing to lose. So they weren't bothered about letting in more goals. They were just interested in going and scoring more. So you've got to look at the way they've played this year. They've got Louis up top for them, who's scored over 30 goals. So there were always going to be goals in this game. I think everybody knew that. But I think for us was just to be 4-0 up, and the game was won at half-time. So that's a brilliant achievement from all of us.
Yeah, and obviously with us confirming our spot in the playoffs last week, Are these next 3 matches, obviously today, and the next 2 we've got coming up, are they all just about building momentum now for the playoffs?
We spoke about that. We didn't want to become complacent. We spoke about making sure the momentum is good. That's 7 games unbeaten for us. It'll be brilliant to go into the playoffs 9 games unbeaten. So there is that level, but we've got to be mindful. We've got to make sure everyone's right. There were a couple of knocks today when we were resting certain players as well. So there are a couple of things where we're going to have to look at for Monday and see what we can do. We know it's a Thanet derby and we're not going to take that easy, and we know how much it means to the fans. And I think we owe the fans so much from this season. I think even like we were just speaking about, the young fans are also making loads of noise. It's brilliant to have them along. And also the usual fans that are always here in a home game, making it such a great atmosphere. Then we look at, probably at the moment we're going away in the playoffs, playoff semi-final, possibly the playoff final, who knows, if we get ourselves there. So the travelling fans, and looking back to Mersham last week, they got there, I think it was one of the first times they got over 1,000 fans. So that was probably because we felt like we took a lot of numbers. So we owe them something, and we're going to put on a performance for them. But you've got to be mindful, and I think Ramsgate will be mindful as well, because they've got nothing to play for. Technically, we've got nothing to play for because we're guaranteed 4th no matter what happens. So be an odd game. There's no such thing as a friendly with the Thanet derby. So we're just looking forward to going in there and putting on another performance, which we have done against them both times this season so far.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Well done today.
Thank you.